everyone. Welcome back, or welcome. This is podcast number 232. Sorry, I'm a little foggy today. We are tuning in from Port Washington, New York, where it's quite gloomy. It's a bad hair day. We've been fussing for the past 15 minutes trying to get our hair to look okay.
One of those days.
Yep. You can find
I'm so
me.
tired of the rain. But go ahead.
I know.
What you were saying.
It's
It's
really...
rain and rain and rain. School's almost over. I haven't worn a dress yet.
It's crazy.
Right?
Yeah. It's really yuck.
Although someone did tell me it's going to be very hot at the end of the week. I said, well...
But that's what's crazy. It's gone from, like...
There's no in between.
Cold, nasty, or rainy to, like, middle of summer.
It's ridiculous. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, that's okay.
You started to say.
I was just going to say, so my name is Dina. I'm going to introduce myself. You can find me at The Knitting Place on Instagram, Ravelry, and Facebook.
I am Pam Sapienza. No. Pam Sap on Instagram and Ravelry, and Pam Sapienza on Facebook.
And speaking of Facebook, we have our first Deshane knit-along class tomorrow.
Yes.
And I just want to reiterate that Pam sent out the email with all the instructions. To get into the group, you have to follow the steps of the email.
Correct. And then after that, if you need to text me, just send me a text. Right. It's probably the fastest way for us to resolve an issue. And there are a lot of people, most of the people we've done business with before, let's put it that way. But, a lot of times your name is not your Facebook name.
Right, especially if you're new to the group.
Or there's some change to it, yeah.
Right. If you're new to our group, it's imperative that you follow the instructions to get into the class.
Correct.
If you miss the first live Zoom, don't fret. We post the class on.
Yeah, right.
Not
everyone
to Facebook.
Can be on
Exactly.
When doing it.
Right. So, where shall we start? I have not had sleep.
Well, Dina had a busy weekend. She had you had your nephew's bar mitzvah this weekend.
Yes, so it was Noah's bar mitzvah. I had my family and my brother and his wife and 3 kids in from California. We had a huge Shabbat at the house. We had 25 people, which turned out to be lovely. My mom was amazing. She helped me cook.
Oh, good. It's nice to have mom help you cook.
Yes, it was really nice. I did like a whole buffet. Everyone got plates, and, it was just very easy to navigate. We didn't do a formal dinner. Would have been too hard. Saturday was the bar mitzvah. All the women went out and got our hair done.
Oh, nice.
And it was miserable. It was like downpouring.
What time did you go get your hair done?
We went in the middle of the day, and, you gotta love the Weather Channel. You tune in, and you're like, okay, it's going to stop raining by 4 p.m.
No, I didn't do that.
It's always off.
No.
We left. It was raining. It was misty, but it wasn't so bad. She gave us like shower caps. We had the umbrellas. Not a big deal. But just as we were leaving to go to the venue, downpour. I hate that.
I know. It was terrible.
So we waited. Rain in New York, it's always like feast or famine. I don't want to say famine, but like it comes down so hard for like 20 minutes. And then the rain just settles down a little bit, So we had to wait.
But it's always when you have to go somewhere that it pours
Yes,
in.
It doesn't usually last like the whole time.
I know, it's crazy.
But it was annoying. So we were a little late, but that's okay.
Well,
had a lovely party.
At least you were dry.
We were dry.
You were soaking wet, right?
No, we were not. Noah had fun.
Good.
We
Good
had
for
brunch yesterday. A lot of family time. A lot of late nights.
Well, you also have house guests too, don't you?
Right. So that's what. Not that it's a killer. The killer is that we're staying up late talking. I think it was up until 4 in the morning one night. I literally had laryngitis over the weekend. I'm amazed that I could still speak right now. But it was fun.
Now you have the memories. You can think about the memories, right?
It's all good. How about you?
We had a nice weekend. We went out to Jersey. It was Katie's partner, Tiffany, her opening of her, she opened a design studio. She has a design business, but she didn't have that home base It was always a dream that she would have that shop. But again, you need to be a bit established to do that.
Right.
You know, to be able
What
to.
is? Why don't you tell everyone what she designs?
She does interior design, but she also does like renovations. Remember I showed you she was doing an entertainment,
It's like a basement, and they
a
made a
movie
whole
theater,
entertainment.
a
Right.
spa, and a movie theater.
Wasn't there a weight room, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, and an exercise, yeah. And so she does stuff like that. She'll do the whole thing. She flipped a house last year, so she does that kind of stuff, you know. But
Nice.
she'll also, you know, if you need her to redo, you know, if it's a kitchen, if it's whatever it is, she'll do.
Nice.
So anyway, so she opened the shop, so we traveled out to Jersey, and it was that kind of a day. You know, when we left, it might have been spitting, not even that you needed anything.
Did you go Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday?
Yeah. Well, that was the other thing. The trains weren't working this weekend.
Well, that's the other problem we had. So we wanted to take the train because we were going to New Jersey. And quite frankly, if we take the train from here, you go right into Penn, you go across the way, and you get on a New Jersey train. And it's just so much easier. Plus, I can knit.
That's fabulous.
You know,
must
it's
have
just
gotten a lot of
easier
knitting done.
because when you're driving, you have to take 2 bridges, and you know, it's just a pain in the neck. But of course, the Port Washington line wasn't running to Port Washington, so we had to go to Bayside, and I was going to drive to Bayside.
Did you find out why it wasn't
They were
working?
doing bridge work, bridge repair.
Okay.
And but then I
That's
thought
important.
Yes,
We don't need a
especially
derailed
that bridge
train.
we go over there. I know. So I wasn't sure if there were only the thing said there were only 90 spots in Bayside, and half of them are long-term parking. And Bayside's a very busy area. So I said, you know what? I don't want to have to stress that I get to
You could
Bayside.
have gone to Little Neck, you know. It's the same price.
Right, but there were 2 different. They were running 2 different buses. Now,
Oh.
one went from here to Manhasset and Great Neck to Bayside. There was another one that went.
Do you have to pay for that bus?
No.
Oh.
No.
That was a courtesy.
Then there's another one that you go to.
Excuse me one
yeah,
minute.
sure. That you can do. You go to Little Neck or Douglaston, and then it goes on. So in any event, we took the bus. It was very good. I got some knitting done, but again, it just took more time. And you also have to make your connections, you know. But we went there, and her studio was lovely, very nice, and she had all kinds of cute things going on. She had someone outside with a popcorn machine. She had champagne and deviled eggs and a charcuterie set up along the whole counter.
Tiffany?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful. And then she had someone in there that was making bracelets, putting charms on bracelets. And
Fun.
It was very fun. So, you know, we were there probably for 3 to 4 hours in that area, and then we went back to the city with my son and daughter, and we went for dinner. We went somewhere for dinner. So by the time we got home, and we had to take the bus back.
Did you have dinner in the city?
Yeah.
How fun.
And then
What a great weekend, Pam.
And then we came back home on the railroad, and we just did the bus. And again, it was long, but you know what? I was able to knit. Wasn't sitting in traffic in a car,
Exactly.
you know, which I didn't mind at all. And then yesterday was yesterday. Yesterday was the day to do the things you didn't do the day before. You know that.
Don't tell me chores.
Yeah, you know that kind of stuff. Well, if you want to eat some food, you got to do some food shopping. If you want
Yes,
clean
that's
clothes, you got to
important.
do laundry.
Yes.
But anyway, so that the goal is always to do that, so then maybe you can knit right later on in the day. But it was a lovely weekend. We had a nice time.
That's nice.
And Daniel and Nicole are renting an apartment. They found one. As a
No
matter of fact,
way.
the funny thing was, he said,
That's
well,
exciting.
he said, we'll meet you at Penn. We have to look at an apartment at like 1, and the train was at 2:11. I said, I don't know if you're going to make that. Anyway, so they
made it?
came racing in. They made the train, and they saw this apartment in Williamsburg.
Fun.
And on the way from the apartment to Penn, they put the application in. And by the time we got to New Jersey, they found out they'd been accepted. They were very lucky because,
Everything goes quickly.
well, you know, what's that website, Street Easy or Street
I've heard of
something?
that, yes.
It's where the people list apartments and they go on there to see what's available. It wasn't listed on that.
Oh,
And
where
they
was
found
it?
out about it. I forgot how they found out about it. But it was the open house at 1 o'clock, and they were the only ones there. If that had been on Street Easy, there would have been a ton of people there.
Wow. So they got really lucky.
So they were very lucky.
Is it a 1-bedroom?
It's a 1-bedroom, but it's on. It's right on the water in Williamsburg. It's like one of the tall buildings.
Wow. How beautiful.
So it's very nice. You know, it's
Do
got.
they have amenities in the building?
Yes, they have.
That's the beautiful thing about Brooklyn.
They have a washer and dryer. They have There's a place up on the roof.
They have
like
a roof.
a pool.
It's crazy.
There's a gym in the building. I mean, you have to pay a little extra for the gym, of course,
but you get more. You get more bang for your buck.
Right, and it's more in the area of where he used to live when he lived in Williamsburg than where he lives now. It's nicer. So anyway, so they're very excited.
Say, I do have one gripe though.
What's that?
The commute, like when the kids come home, is annoying.
Yeah,
because they have to go to Manhattan and then they'd have to take the Long Island Railroad.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I was thinking about that. I don't know. He might be able to go into Woodside.
Oh, where
they
he
might
is?
be able to Uber to Woodside, then take the Woodside train out, which would be good for Port Washington. That's what Audrey does. She goes from Astoria. She goes to Woodside and then comes out.
Oh, that's an interesting
She
idea.
had to do that, what you're talking about, when she was in Park Slope.
It's
very inconvenient.
I mean, Danielle and Isaac came this weekend, I think.
Well, she lives, where's she, Park Slope?
No, she's in
the city part.
She's by Fort Greene.
Yeah, that's where Audrey used to be, too.
So
that's a hard place to get to, too, when you're driving.
For them, you know, it's a trek. It's expensive with the Ubers. Mm-hmm. And if they come with the dog especially, you can't really take them.
Well, that's a bigger dog. Audrey can get away with taking Samsoe.
I can get away with Bear, but he's actually bigger than
He's
Bear.
bigger,
He's like
so it's always interesting, you know. But good for them. I'm happy for them, and they were able to. And plus, this apartment doesn't have a broker's fee.
Oh, it's amazing.
I know. You know what they do now?
Really
it's
lucky.
very like it used to be a month's rent, 2 months' rent, right? So one of the ways they do it now is they say it's 15% of a year's rent. Well, 15% of a year's rent is like 2 months' rent.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of money.
It used to be 1 month's rent.
Right. So now they don't have a broker's fee, but they're starting at the end of July. But she had prorated July to July 21st. But it's a long story. Anyway, they got her down to July 31st, which takes $2,000 off the rent.
That's fabulous.
It's crazy. The rents are crazy, aren't they, Dina?
Crazy. Yeah. I'm happy for them, though. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's nice. It's what
like
they wanted. Mm-hmm. You know, she was saying she wanted to go to Manhattan. He wanted to stay in Williamsburg. She wanted a building with amenities. You know, he wanted a 2-bedroom, but they're not going to get a 2-bedroom. It's too expensive for but they don't need the 2nd bedroom. You know, so and I think the square footage is nice.
Do they both go to the office tonight? There's my head.
Got knitting on your brain. She goes in 4 days a week.
Oh my
She's
God,
home
to work,
and she's home on. It's so funny. She's home on Fridays, and he goes in 1 week Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and the next week Tuesday, Thursday.
So I think like for Isaac and Danielle, it was more COVID time where they were both working from home.
Right.
So one set up a bed in the bedroom and one. A bed? I'm telling you, I'm delirious. A desk, I know. One, like someone has a desk in the bedroom and one has one in the living room.
Exactly.
But now it's interesting because things have changed. Like they're actually going back to the office.
Going back to the office, yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
I think it's great to have wake up.
It's
out of the apartment.
It's good to have a purpose and go somewhere. Get dressed and have to be somewhere.
Going to work is a purpose, but I think it's nice to get dressed and have to leave.
Well, Daniel said that he feels he's more productive when he goes into the office. So, it's very nice. But what he's very good about it. He makes sure he gets out of the house. Like he'll go at lunchtime for a walk.
Nice.
Or he'll go after work is over. He'll go and take a walk and just get out and do something.
You must.
Because you can't stay in the house all day.
It's too much.
It's too much. So anyway, that's good news for them. And I'm hoping that by now they've signed the lease. So. They should have.
Maybe by the time you leave, you'll get good news.
There you go. Anyway, so that was my weekend. I did do a little bit of knitting, but not much.
Sweet.
And that's it.
I did no knitting. I've just been busy. I have to say, I went sailing.
Oh, you did?
With Steve and Merrill.
When did you do that?
We did that on Wednesday.
Oh, that was, I knew about that, right?
So when I got off over the weekend, I must have posted pictures, whatever, and Steve was like, you should host. I mean, I'm not hosting anything, but we should get people to do a knit and sail.
We should. Well, on his boat?
On his boat.
How many can he put on his boat?
I think he said 6.
That's not many, Dina.
8.
That's still not a lot. Do you know how many people would want to do that?
But we could do it multiple times.
Okay, let's
have
do
fun.
It. Will he do it?
Yes. He's totally into it.
He'll be booked every week. There are going to be so many people
Would you guys
that want
like
to
do
that.
a
Where
sunset?
does he sail out of?
Right here.
In port?
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous. Even better.
Literally right at the dock.
Right at the dock.
I mean, it's
Where
right
does
behind.
he go? But I don't want any rough seas or anything.
No, you go
It's
on
a sailboat, right?
sailboat.
Yeah. See, sailboats are different than motorboats.
Yes.
They go like this and they go like that.
I need a calm day.
Yes, it has to be a calm day.
Well,
I'll never forget, I went on Patrice's boat that day. I'd never been on a sailboat, and that thing was moving, and I felt
remember the needle
so
point?
sick.
moments of sailing is like sailing is moments of sheer. No, God, I'm ruining the joke.
I don't know it. Sailing is what?
Like sailing is so much fun, interrupted by moments of sheer panic, because like you could be smooth sailing, and then all of a sudden you're like literally.
I would do
Depending on
that. Hopefully, it would be a nice day.
Yeah, I would love to.
Okay,
Anyway, so if you're
how many
interested,
can you have? 8 people on the boat?
I'm going to ask.
Let's do it.
I feel like he said up to 10, but with him, I don't know.
It might be safer to say 8.
Right.
It might be safer.
Yes.
So
He
yeah.
initially said
So
six.
if anyone would be local, you'd have to be local, obviously. If anyone would be
Yes.
interested in it, well, what's a sunset cruise like?
Well, the Sunset Cruise is a little bit more because it's
Well,
in
it's sunset.
higher demand.
Right.
But we can do.
We could do 2 in one day. We can do an afternoon on a
imagine?
Saturday, then come back in and go out and do it.
That would be so fun.
A sunset.
That would be fun.
Well, if anyone locally is interested, let us know.
Yes. And have you ever gone knitting and sailing? I feel like Amy has her boat
Amy,
too.
I'm sure
Yeah.
she has. Yeah, I'm sure she has. She probably doesn't need to come with us. She's
No,
got
but
her
we
own
could
boat.
wave to each other, maybe, Amy.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so and it was well.
That was fun.
I did do some knitting. Well,
Top
first tell me what you're wearing.
I am wearing. Well, wait. Are we going to go into this then?
Well, we can mix it up, unless you don't want to do that.
No. Okay.
I'll tell what I'm wearing first,
Okay.
but I don't know what it is, so I have to look it up.
Is it This Bird Knits?
Yes, it's the thank you, and it's what is it called? I can't think. I meant to look it up before. It'll take me 2 seconds. So I tell them what yarn I used, Dina, because you know what yarn I
Okay.
used.
So Pam is wearing a lovely tee because we're in tea mode. It's knit in Granny Square, fingering sock by Suburban Stitcher.
Which aren't we going to be getting that at some point?
Yes, I
Don't know when,
right.
but is
We
that
have-
it? Willa.
Willa.
It's
Is it
the Willa.
Willa?
Correct, the Willa.
Willa tea. It's just Willa, but
Willa.
it is a tea.
This Bird Knits.
It's designed by This Bird Knits. Pam used, I think it was 2 skeins, correct?
You know, the thing that was different about this is it's fingering weight yarn, but it's 18 stitches, and I used a 7 needle. Remember, I made a mistake. I made some mistake on it. I forget. My gauge was smaller, so I made a larger size, is what I wrote down here. And it would be nice if I say what size I made, but I didn't. Okay, of course, I noted near the very end that I was on the wrong needle size. That was it. I worked to the end. It was meant to have a fair amount of positive ease. So anyway, there you go. But it's fingering weight.
Lovely. Did you use 2 skeins?
Did I write that? Well, why would I write that either? I didn't put it. I'm sure I used 2 skeins.
Yeah, I have a feeling it was just 2.
Yeah, it was just 2. I didn't use more than 2. Because again, what would you say my gauge is on this? Looking at it?
It's definitely not 18 stitches to 4 inches.
No, I would say it's probably
Maybe 20. Maybe less.
You think? I think it's.
I mean, maybe
22.
more. Yeah, I meant maybe more.
Right. So anyway, so there you go. That's and it was a lovely. I would make this again.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I would make this again, but just make sure you use
Top
the
down?
right. Yes, just make sure you use the right needles when you make it.
Yeah, that would be helpful. Does she call for fingering weight for 18 stitches?
I'll tell you in a second. I'll go look on because I can link it back to a pattern. Hold on, let me see.
She's a great designer.
She is. She says, there it is. There, it's so pretty. See, I think hers has more positive ease than mine does, but I don't need it that big. She says 18 stitches to 4 inches. She used quill, which is it's fingering. She used quill. She used quill, which is a fingering weight yarn. And the other one was, so she did use fingering, and she was getting 18 stitches on a 7 and an 8 needle. But I guess I was having trouble getting that, so I went up on a larger size sweater. But I didn't write down on my Ravelry what size sweater I did.
Okay.
Right?
Yep. Well, that's lovely anyway.
Well, that's why it's, you have to gauge, especially on something like this. When she's saying 18 stitches on fingering, you have to make sure you gauge that.
Always important to gauge.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people say they never gauge, but if you were doing something like this, you really would have to.
It's all a matter of how you want your sweater to fit. Especially if, and just because a pattern calls for gauge, let's say, here's a perfect example. Pam's pattern called for 18 stitches to 4 inches. Let's just assume Pam used the fingering weight yard and she didn't like it. So she decided to deviate. She used a smaller needle. She got a tighter gauge, which the result is actually she had to knit a larger size,
right?
Because she was using more stitches per inch.
Right.
So it's all about liking the fabric, the swatch that you knit, and you could be a true to gauge knitter, and maybe you don't need to gauge.
Right.
But for the most part, if you're worried about how a garment is going to fit you, it's important to gauge.
Her smallest size on this is 45.3, and then it's 48 and 50 and a half. I think what I did is I was aiming, it's coming back to me now looking at the numbers. I was either aiming for the 48 or the 50 because my gauge was off, because I normally wouldn't make a 50. I don't need that much positive ease, right? So anyway, love it. What
It's
are you
very
wearing,
pretty.
Dina?
I am wearing the Wave Tee. I think we wore this last week, didn't we?
Did we? I think it was the week before.
Oh, really? Did we wear
I think
last
I wore
week?
my Alpine Bloom last week.
Oh, you're right. Okay. So it's 2 weeks ago. Okay, now I
Time
don't feel
flies
so
when
bad.
you're having fun.
Yes. I'm wearing the Wave Tee. This is by Petite Knit. The reason I'm wearing it is because I wanted to show you the fit. We got a new delivery in this yarn, which I had mentioned we were going to get more yarn in. The yarn is called Pop. It's a yarn that I purchased when I was away, and the new colors are in. We're super excited.
Lovely.
The design for the Wave Tee is by Petite Knit. It's knit top down. It's got, what was it, a raglan increase?
Yes, raglan increase.
A raglan increase.
Right.
It's really very basic.
Very simple. Very simple sweater.
Pam and I both modified the sweater slightly. We included a knit one, purl one ribbed border for the sleeve, as well as the bottom of the sweater. Not sure if you could see it.
Although you could probably, the neckline we kept as is, and that's
Yes.
what the bottom would have been as well.
Right. It was meant to. The pattern was designed to have a raw edge, both at the on the neck, on the sleeve, and on the hem. I personally didn't want a raw hem because what tends to happen is the fabric rolls. And not that I'm not a fan. I like a roll, but not when it's bulky.
Right.
So here it is rolling a little bit, and that's okay. But at the bottom of a piece, it has a tendency to roll even more.
And when Dinah says it's bulky, we knit this on a 10.5.
Right, well, that's what the pattern called for.
Yeah.
So we didn't deviate. We just substituted the yarn, which was super fun. That's another fun thing to do. Sometimes you guys have stash at home. If you think you can get gauge for a pattern that you like, by all means, swatch and check. And, it's really fun. Pam was just saying she posted her Wave Tee on Ravelry.
Yeah.
And you had a lot of
like
views.
135 views.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was saying that it's probably because we used a yarn that
a little different.
Mm-hmm.
And we should say the pattern, she used 2 yarns. One was Tick Lena, which is the thicker version of Lena, the cotton linen viscose yarn.
I have it. Should I go get it?
Yeah, sure. And the other one they used was called Wave, right? Wasn't that the other yarn?
Yes.
Which was a cotton yarn, but it had a little bit of a texture to it. And that's what gave us the thought to substitute Pop. Because as you could see, the Pop does have a texture, a slight texture to it. It's like a cotton cord, and there's some like a boucle wrapped around it.
This here, yes.
So we have kits on the website in the
This
Tick
is
Lena.
the Tick Lena.
Right.
And you can see it's a thick yarn. It's the big sister to Lena. Calls for the same size needle. You and I both, I mean, I knit my Montpellier tee. Pam and I both did a test knit for Beth McDonald's stone. We used the, we knit the chevron vest.
Chevron vest, right.
And honestly, you could probably swap out the pop for any of those tops as well.
Could too, yeah.
Which is really fun. Yeah, so you can find the Tick Lena or the pop. And I have to say, so we got our new delivery, and you know, we went live last week.
That was the chevron vest, by the way.
Yep.
Isn't that pretty?
It's gorgeous.
That was a great piece.
That's a great piece. Yeah,
Awesome.
looks stunning on you, Pam.
There you go. That was a nice piece.
Super fun. So we got a new delivery, which was really exciting. It came in at like the very end of the day.
Did it really?
Yes, and I was like, should we just leave? And Vanessa, God bless you, Vanessa. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
She made you.
She's like, Dina, you got to get this on the system. And we did. And you guys certainly liked it, so we're going to show you.
Colors are lovely.
Yes.
The original colors were lovely, but these are
I'm
just
so
different.
happy with my color.
It's always nice when you see something different, too.
I think I might actually...
Make another one?
I might, yeah. This is something that like flew off my
needles.
needles.
Thinking what I would make is this in one color, maybe.
That's perfect. Oh, we should show them that as well as another option. Okay, so let's see. Here, I'll hand you the colors. This colorway is called Mediterranean.
I can't decide if it's blue or purple.
I think it wants it to be whatever you want it to be. So if you're feeling a blue, like it's called Mediterranean.
You know what it is? I'm looking at it. It looks like the cotton is blue, but it's wrapped in a purple thread.
Giving it, yeah.
Can you see that, guys? Yeah,
it's
you
like a
can see
twilight
that.
kind of vibe.
Yeah.
This is chrysanthemum.
Chrysanthemum or chrysanthemum?
No, chrysanthemum.
Chrysanthemum. I thought
Right.
it was a different name.
Chrysanthemum.
That's lovely, too. Look at that.
This colorway is coral.
That's a beautiful burnt orange.
This is a fabulous colorway. This colorway is called Sky.
Look at that, guys. It's got like a denim cotton. It's wrapped in green. Is that the one I saw before? Yeah.
Yep. Saffron.
Beautiful.
This one is called Emerald. I'm making too much noise here.
Another one down there?
This one is called Jade, believe it or not. That's gorgeous. Oh, love that
is
color.
pretty.
And I forgot what this one is called. I don't remember.
Pink purple.
But it's very pretty. I
Very
love
pretty.
all the colors. So these are
Look at
just like
those colors.
gorgeous.
Let's hold them up, Dina.
Let's see if I can do this. And then you want to get the green? We'll put it in like
hold
a
on 1
rainbow.
second.
Got the rainbow?
There you go.
Love it.
So this
Look at all the options and possibilities.
now the sweater that we made took 5 skeins.
Right. I used 5 skeins. I want to say I had maybe a little
Half
bit less
less.
than half. I think, Pam, you had half a skein left.
At least I think at least half a skein left. Yeah, I used a little less yarn.
I know. So all of these colors,
Did we make it longer?
we did.
We did. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did make it longer, so that's probably why we went into the 5th. So look at the pattern. If you're interested in making it, look at the specifications on it. In terms of length and.
I will say that a lot of you, I don't know, we sold a lot of skeins, and I noticed that people were buying different quantities. So I don't know if it's because you were buying quantities to do a larger size, but if there was something else that you were buying the yarn for, I'm curious, because some of you purchased different quantities, and yeah, it would be fun to know if you were thinking about using this yarn for another top.
Now, when the yarn first came in, we used it to make this, and we've shown this before a while ago. It was a cardigan from Petite Knits. It was the bulky.
It's the novice.
The bulky novice, so it's the larger gauge. And in this particular sample, we used different colors. We used 1, 2, 3, 4 different colors. So what I was thinking, I might pick one of those and make
just
this.
The whole cardigan in one color.
Wouldn't that be pretty?
Stunning.
Yeah. So anyway, just to show you, this is
That'd be a good transitional, like coming from
a nice cardigan
like from winter to spring and
Yep.
going from summer to fall.
Yep.
Because it's it's not that
And these
It's like a
sleeves were
cotton sweater.
they were a little more blousy, loose fitting. I think these
it.
particular sleeves were 3/4, but you could easily make it longer. And I would do it in one color. It's top down. It's a very basic, very easy
circular yoke.
just
it's
like
fun.
this is an easy sweater. You could also do this. Do we know how many? We don't know. Well, you look at the yardage. That's all. Look at the bulky novice and figure out how many skeins you would need.
Right.
And that would be that.
I think it would be different if you were
well.
doing it because it's based on yardage where we use different colors.
And this is also, I mean, I would consider making another one of those, but I'm thinking if
Totally.
I'm making another one, maybe I should do that instead.
Right.
You know, it might
That's
make
why I'm
more
saying
sense.
maybe the Montpellier because that's
Yeah.
you know,
That
it's
was
like a sleeve.
lovely.
Yeah, I love my Montpellier,
Yeah.
but I do love this one as well. So we'll see.
And I think, you know, honestly, working with bulky yarn sometimes can be, you know, I told Dina, sometimes you feel like you're a larger person wearing a bulkier yarn, but this is a very comfortable sweater to wear. I think
I don't
it is.
think
Don't
it
you think
adds
so?
bulk.
No, but some sweaters do.
I agree.
It knits up very nicely.
Right.
And
I don't
and
feel
I
like
would
it-
just recommend be careful with your fit. You don't want a thicker yarn with a tight fit. You won't be happy with that.
Right.
So just make sure you know what size you're making.
Right.
And again, the thing we always say is take a sweater you like,
Absolutely.
measure it,
Check your gauge.
yep, and see what you know, what you like. Anyway, there you go. So that's
So we
number
jumped
one.
into something new. Typically, we always start with what we're wearing. Do you have any FOs?
No, I can show you
I don't have any FOs either.
I can show you my ranunculus, which I'm happy with, but I'm not happy with. And I'll
Uh-oh.
tell you why, because I think my knitting is god-awful on this thing. But I'm not taking anything out. I'm
You
not
didn't
doing
block it yet.
I did block it. I
you
didn't
did?
I didn't wet block it.
Oh, that'll
so what
make a
happened, if
difference.
you remember on last week's podcast, I had a line down here, but that's not why I took it out. I took it out because why? It was too short.
You wanted length.
I want to, and I still think I made it too short.
Are you kidding?
I swear to God.
But
Anyway,
you can add more ribbing. You
I
don't
could.
have the 3 inches.
Well, I know. I decided that I thought that this would be fine. So anyway, I'm going to do the sleeves. I'm going to try it on. I'm going to wet block it. I can always take it out. Mm-hmm. You know. Anyway, so
Now, I have to say, do you mind if we'll
Yeah,
finish
go ahead,
and then
say
I'll
it.
no.
You say. So I did this. I did do the bind off. Dina and I did a Zoom cal, and on this ranunculus, we finished it last week, right? We did finish it, right? And I did the bind off that she talks about, which was fine. It does take more time to do it. I do have to do my sleeves. If I wanted to, I could just bind it off and wear it like this. But I think I am going to add a bit of a sleeve to it. It's still going to be short sleeve. I'm not doing a long sleeve. And that's it. But I think my knitting is very sloppy on the bottom. I'm not happy with it. And I think part of it was because I had knit on the yarn. And you know how it looks kind of cockeyed?
That's why I think when you wet block it, and so that's what I was just going to mention. A lot of people always ask about what's the difference between wet blocking
Right.
and steaming. So steaming is when you take your iron or a steamer or a hand steamer. With a hand steamer, it's kind of hard because usually it's if you have one of those cordless ones, it's hard to, you can hand steam if you're trying to take out the wrinkles, but if you're trying to block
You
with
need
a
something
steamer,
that's more substantial.
it's not going to work. Usually you need to pin it down and you need to steam it. Never take your iron directly to your fabric. You're going to want to hold the steamer away. Wet blocking is submerging your hand knit into a basin of water, which probably has a soak in it, a detergent that is delicate enough for your knits. I love to use Eucalan or soak because you don't need to rinse it. Well, soak you might. Do you need to rinse with soak?
I don't think
I
you
use
do.
Eucalan.
Right.
Eucalan is a no rinse soak, which is lovely.
right.
And then you actually remove the excess water, you pin it to the desired measurements, which is something that you can do as well with your swatches when you're knitting your swatches. And then you could figure out if you're really going to get the gauge that you need
Right.
for your sweater. So what Pam is saying, she ripped out her yarn and she re-knit it. It tends to give you that textured, crinkly look because you're reusing it.
Yeah.
But that will come out
Right.
when you block it.
So anyway, I have to add my sleeves. I'm hoping that the length is fine. I'm just going to add the sleeves and then I'll just try it on and I'll determine how it looks. And
There you
that's
go.
it. And you know what? If I don't like the way it looks, I can always give it to like Audrey or something.
Of course. I happen to like the fact that that harsh line.
It's gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you said you were going to leave it, but because it turned out to be too short, I think.
So what I did
think
is
it worked out in your
I
benefit.
took a little bit more out, and then I alternated. I did some helical knitting.
Did you really?
But
it doesn't even look like it.
But
it
I
really
went-
blended so nicely.
But I took the skein from the inside because the outside was a lot darker, which is why I had that line. So anyway, so I did that, and
Love it.
I just have to finish the sleeves. Couldn't get that done. And
Love,
then, as
love,
I told
love it.
Dina, I didn't have the needles. I know I have them, but I couldn't tell you where they are.
Probably on a hat that you're knitting.
They're on. They have to be because I need a 9 and a 10, 16 inch, and
Yes.
I can't find them. But anyway, and I have one other thing to show Dinah.
I have absolutely nothing. I've been very present with my family.
But that's a good thing.
I'm very happy, and I'll go back to my knitting.
Now, Dinah was talking about maybe doing this as a knit along,
Yes, one of our viewers. Thank you for your email. I think it was her email.
and this is
Look at how gorgeous.
This is the Zephyr that we have some kits for. The only difference is I use the Kokon organic fingering versus the Fua Fua, which actually she knit it in the Fua Fua and in a fingering weight yarn.
Right.
So I had this yarn from last year. It's called, what's this one called again?
Sandcastle.
Sandcastle.
I think someone got the last of it, but it's on reorder.
It's got little specks of green and some lavender, and it's hard to see it on the screen.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can get it to come up.
It is there.
It's very soft and subtle. It's a beautiful color. So Pam is actually knitting it from
The back.
back, top, down,
I did bring
and it looks like this.
Well, I did bring my swatch, but I can't find it right now, so I don't know where it
Let's
is.
see if I go in here.
I stuck it in here. So anyway,
Very soft speckle.
the way it starts is it's the back, upper back, pick up over here, and then join in the round like this. Yeah. So this is going to be, after I do another inch or a little bit more, we're going to pick up for the top here and go down and down, and we're going to join in the round at some
This
point.
is fun.
I'm going to do something else to it. I don't know what else. Take it
Are you
one
doing-
step at a time.
Front and back cable.
It's a front and back cable. Yep.
So this actually would be a great. I mean, we had just done a learn to cable class. So if you've never cabled before, this would be another one. The beauty here is you're really working the cables throughout. They work, consecutively on the row repeat, and
It
you'll
looks
be master.
It looks much fancier than it is.
What does?
That the cable. It's not hard.
Oh no!
I mean, that when you
It's
hold
not
it up,
difficult,
it looks a
but
lot fancier than it really is not.
I was going to say you'd be a master at cabling after this.
You would be. You would be. You certainly would
Yeah.
be.
So that's
I
lovely.
think there's also because I mean, in looking at the key that gives you the different stitches and things you're doing, well, I'm not going to say what it is because I'll be giving the pattern away. But there's a cable you're doing as well.
If you're interested in doing the Zephyr T as a cable, as a knit along,
Let us know
leave a comment. Let us know.
because that could be our next
We'd love
one.
to hear from you.
And that is it. That's all have been working on. We were commuting it to Jersey the other day. I knit like a whole repeat.
That's fabulous.
I
Isn't that
know.
great?
I
like
was
winner,
happy.
winner.
I was feeling like I could be sitting in a car driving,
It's perfect.
or I could be doing this, and I had no problem
that.
with that. Yeah.
So before we start with the new kit, new in shop, why don't we talk about new kits?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
We gave you one new in shop.
Dina and I went live with this one the other day. It's called
ONLi by ANKESTRiCK.
ONLi Blouse.
Oh yeah, ONLi Blouse. That's
Correct,
right.
Only Blouse. And it's a great I think it's a great looking tee. It's fingering weight. And there are two options, which we like, that it gave you the two options at the bottom of the piece and the bottom of the sleeve. And I think Dinah's going to bring up some pictures now to show you. I like the neckline. If you go in close and you look at the detail on the V, that looks like a lovely T. Fairly simple, but again, the simple stuff is the stuff you go to all the time.
Yes.
Go ahead, Dinah.
Did you talk? Did you?
I
show
didn't
them?
know. I was waiting
Oh,
for you to bring it
okay.
up.
Oh, you want me to just show it here, maybe?
I think it's kind of dark in this photo. It's a dark photo to see what it is.
So this is the ONLi blouse. You can see that it has a V-neck, and I'm not sure if you're seeing it, but if you look at the armbands as well as the waistband, that has elastic. So for this particular top, you have the option to include elastic down here at the hem as well as the armband. But then you also have the option, here it is, you could see the armband with kind of like, I don't want to say it's got a scrunchy vibe.
Yeah, it does. It does have a scrunchy
right?
vibe.
I mean, it's not that tight,
No.
like it'll go on like, but
Right.
because the fabric kind of rouges a little bit over the elastic, it has
It's
that
cute.
vibe.
It's
It's
not bad.
very cute.
I would do the sleeve like that.
And then you have the option, if the elastic is not your vibe. Here someone did a ribbing at the bottom, and
just
you
the
can just do
plain sleeve.
ribbing, at the top. And then you do your own edging.
Right.
Trying to see it.
And if you
You
go
have
through the
an option
project,
for long sleeves?
you'll see it done both ways, and you can decide which you prefer. That looks like she's got elastic in it.
No elastic.
The thing I like about it too, on some of them they put the elastic in, and it's even hard to see that the elastic is in, because it's not
that
like
tight.
it's not like tight, and it's just
You
a
measure
very
it out.
subtle, a very subtle.
Here's elastic in the waistband, and it looks like that one is a little bit tighter, and you could see the rouge, not rouging, but the gathering.
Yeah.
And I think it just looks so crisp.
Yeah. So there you go.
But not everybody likes that.
So we did some kits. That's pretty. That's without it.
No elastic.
No elastic. Yeah.
So you do you.
So we did kits. We have in both fingering weight yarns, but two different ones.
I think the original base that was used, we were drawn to this pattern.
It was the same.
It was exactly the same.
Exactly
It's not
the
the same indie dyer, but the actual fiber that
Right.
ANKESTRiCK actually used to design this piece is using the Pika Pika
Right.
blend.
Which is a 60% superwash merino, 20% silk, and 20% rami. It's what Dina used, if you would recall, in her Alpine Bloom
Right.
that she just finished a short time ago.
Right.
As a matter of fact, this is Dina's color. This is called Softness. It's so soft you can't tell. Is it light blue? Does it have a little lavender vibe going on?
Looks like blue there.
There it is. So that's one of the colors that's available in the Pika Pika base. Another colorway is Dusty Godmother. It's a very pale, dusty lavender. Very pretty.
Then we have a colorway called, whoops, I don't know what that was. I think that was my hair clip, but it's not. Grim, which is a beautiful charcoal gray. And I'm not sure if you're seeing it, but it has a very slight sheen.
That's the silk in it, right?
Yep. Very pretty.
Very pretty.
And then oh no, we have two more colors. This one is Baby Rose, which is a beautiful soft pink. But it has some saturation. It's not a very washed out pink. It's like a blue undertone. It's very pretty.
And the last one is our neutral sand. So you could do that as well if you wanted to. So those are the kits we made with the Pika Pika base, which is the wool, silk, rami. But we also have kits made using some fingering weight yarn from our friend Diane, who has lovely, lovely colors. Her color, what's that?
Oh, nothing.
Her color that I happen to love, one of my favorites, suppose, is Predictability. It's a fabulous shade of pink with some speckles. It looks like eggplant speckles in there and some deep burgundy.
Very
So
pretty.
that's
One color, right?
Predictability. You can
Sure. This one here is called March Hare. Another beautiful color. It's got like a soft minty green with beautiful speckles of gold and red. Lovely soft colorway. You can see the sprinkle of color and the depth of the different colors in the sprinkles. Love it.
It's another one very delicate called Oyster. It's an off-white, beigey color, but look at it's got some green and blue speckles in there. Just lovely. Look at that. Very pretty.
Next up is Ladybird. Losing my yarn. Losing my marbles. Okay. This is called Ladybird. It's a beautiful shade of purple. You have some deep purple and red flecks, some copper, gold.
Yeah.
Really pretty. Another gorgeous color dyed by Diane at Suburban Stitcher.
The next one is called Shelter. Shelter is kind of a moody color, wouldn't you say?
Yes, I like it.
It's
like
like a taupey,
dusty mauve.
Yeah, right. And as you can see, you've got some blue speckles, some greens and golds in there. Very subtle, but very nice.
This colorway here is called Flutter. I love this. Diane is amazing with her speckles, but you can see this color has got like layering and color. You've got the coral, the teal, and like a gray or like a denim base.
Yeah.
And you've got the speckles running through it as well.
Fabulous. So anyway, that is the yarn, the other yarn that we have for the
ONLi blouse.
Thank you, the ONLi
Now
blouse.
we do have 2 listings on the website, so if you're looking for Suburban Stitcher, you'll find the one that has Suburban, and if you're looking for the one with the Pika Pika, you'll see that it's
Right.
listed differently.
There you go.
There goes my tower of yarn. Just all fell to the floor.
Our yarn tower. So what's next?
How about we do...
That one.
Sure.
This is a sweater. I mentioned it last week. I think Dina and I mentioned it. We've seen it online. It's called the
Tulipán.
Tulipán. Tulip with an A in at the end. T. And I happen to love it. Didn't you do the peacock?
Yes, I did.
I made the peacock tee from Lene. And this one is the Tulipán tee, which I love. It uses one of our favorite tea yarns, which is Lene. Linen, cotton, viscose, a blend. And it's, it's like your anchor tee. It's like your peacock tee. It's like
I have so many, yes.
What was
And
that?
I'm going to cast on another one.
What was that one I did? What's it called? That you liked?
Stella Alpina.
Stella Alpina.
I might be knitting that.
Yeah.
I can't decide.
It's a
Summer
great tee.
class.
But anyway, so we did about 9 different kits using Lene. We'll show that to you. Now, of course, you could always curate your own kit. Because
Right. You can
there
buy
are
Lene a la carte.
Right. Now, the size that we did, we kitted it with 7 kits, which is good
Seven
for...
skeins.
7 skeins, I'm sorry. Which will take you through the 4th size, which is 44.
44 inches, and that's a size large.
Right. So if you want anything bigger than that, just look at the next 2 sizes would just add another skein to it. So the first one we did is basic summer white. Wouldn't that just be lovely?
That's pretty. So we're showing you only 3 skeins, but you will be getting 7 in the kit.
Right. So,
And if you need additional yardage, you can leave a comment. And if I have it, I'll be happy to call you and make it
where
happen.
my other skein went. This one I had 3. I don't know where it is. Oh, it's on the floor. Let me get it. So you should.
I'll show one.
Yeah.
This next colorway is this very soft gray. Very pretty. It's like a pearl gray. In comparison to the white, you'll see that it's gray.
Okay. And this one here is a light denim blue.
I think it was called Starlight Blue.
Very pretty.
Very pretty.
Very subtle.
It's
Very
like a
nice.
dusty blue.
Yeah, Dina.
Next colorway was called Flaming Scarlet. It's like my lipstick color.
Love that color.
Love it. Fabulous. Nice and bright.
Next one is, I don't know what it's called.
Acorn.
Acorn. Love that color. That's a me color, right, Dina?
It sure is.
Yes.
So is this one. You do it.
This, I don't know. It's
Matcha.
Like matcha. Oh, that does look like matcha. Yeah, that's a good name. Matcha. Little brighter than their olive would be, but this is a new color for spring from Samsoe.
Pretty color.
It is pretty. Yeah, Dina. This is a U color.
Shocking. This colorway is called Shocking Pink.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have this very pretty lilac. This is a pretty color. It's funny. It's kind of in between my Okay, I knit the aubergine, which was my purple, is that my peacock tee?
Yeah, I think so.
And then the sarin, which was the lighter pink.
Which they discontinued, right?
Both of those. And my son, my summer knuss. And my anchor summer shirt.
That's right, you're right.
I'm afraid to pick a color.
Don't pick it, they'll discontinue it.
But this is kind of in the wheelhouse of my sarin and aubergine. It's kind of in between. Lilac.
And the last one we have is, it's like a blue-gray. It looks gray right now on the screen. But I think
they called it dark blue-gray. We call it slate in the shop, but it's like a dark blue-gray. It's very pretty.
Very pretty color. So, again, there are more than 9 colors of Lene in the shop. These are the ones that we chose, and
trying to mix it up. We can't show the same colors all the time.
Right. So you can pick, again, you could just buy it a la carte.
When we went live last week, we also got a delivery from Art Yarns. And in that delivery, we got more kits. Is this on the table? We finally got the is it Desert Sunset? No, Red Sunset. Red Sunset colorway. Now, this here's a t-shirt.
I'll hold that. Yeah. It's a t-shirt that has like a little sleeve on it. And it's made with we'll show you the kits in a second. It's called the Taj kit.
Yeah.
But the Taj kit can make
3 patterns.
Yeah, this being one of them. And Dinah's going to show you. What are you looking for? Oh, that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the colorway, right?
This is the Red Sunset.
Which is what I'm holding.
That's the colorway. It's a beautiful kit. It's
very
just
pretty.
Yeah, very rich. So with this kit, you have the option of knitting this top. You have the option of knitting this beautiful shawl, which I will show you.
I love the shawl.
Love it.
Look at that. Look at it. It's gorgeous.
It's got the same motif as the t-shirt. And the way this piece has worked is you work 2 sections. You come and merge in the center. Then you pick up these live stitches and you work your way this way. And then you turn it around and you work down. And you fill it in. So it's a rectangular shawl. This yarn is divine. It's cashmere and silk. It is so awesome. So awesome.
And then there is one
this
other
colorway
piece. It's gorgeous.
Mayan Mystery. Do you want to look it up?
What?
Taj kit. And then I'll show them this. So the other
When you
option,
say look it up, you mean on the website?
on Ravelry, yes.
Okay.
So when you purchase this kit, there is this fine print is the where you find the pattern. Iris likes to give her patterns away for free as a way of showing gratitude for purchasing her kit. And you have the option.
It's a triangular one.
Yes, that's what I want to show because we don't have one. So you have the option of 3 patterns: the t-shirt, the shawl, which is a rectangular shawl, and then you also have this option to knit a triangular shawl. So you get those 3 patterns, and you'll see, I think if you don't have the yarn and you want to use your own yarn, it's just under $30 for all 3. But it's really quite nice that you get that value when you purchase the kit for free.
Beautiful.
So this is the other one. This is just a sleeveless version of the same t-shirt that Pam was showing.
So here you go.
Yeah. With
this
sleeves
has a
and
bit of
without.
a sleeve.
Right.
And that one doesn't.
Lovely. Now, the kit, I think, goes up to a certain size. I don't know by heart what the sizes go up to, but if you need a larger size, you probably need to purchase 2 kits.
42 bust, 23 inches long.
Is 1 kit.
Right.
And I think anything larger, you'd probably need 2.
Right.
For plus sizes.
Right. There you go.
Okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll show you the different colorways.
Right, and we have a few new ones.
Yeah, Mayan Mystery is coming back in. I hope to have it by Friday, I want to say.
And you showed this. This is
the Red Sunset. This one here is called Summer Sky.
It's pretty.
Which is lovely. And if you're curious to see how the colors knit up, if you look up the pattern on Ravelry Taj and you look up the different projects, you'll likely find the colorway that we are showing. This one's called Ice Sculpture.
This is a new one. It's like a very light blue and a darker denim color.
This one is Fire and Ice. Another beautiful color. And then we have 2 more kits. This is custom to us. We had a customer who wanted Caramel by the Sea with no black because she wanted the black in the main color. This is going to be spectacular.
It is because
because
because the black's not in it. It's really going to pop.
Pop. Do you know the butterfly shawl?
Yeah.
This gives me that vibe.
Yes,
it does. So pretty.
Yes.
Stunning.
Lovely.
And then I got this kit in. What's the yardage on here?
Is it more yardage?
No, it's the same. I just want to see it's 800 yards. So I got this colorway in to knit the Ranunculus. So although it's packaged in this shawl or Taj kit with the shawl and t-shirt option, I thought this would be lovely as a Ranunculus colorway, and it's packaged here. It would make a beautiful shawl. You wouldn't get the contrast
you could do either,
of the 2 different colors, but you can certainly see that it's got the shades of green. So those are the colors.
And that's lovely.
Yep.
I love that.
I think that's all we got in.
I think that's enough, Dina. I think that's enough.
Anyone notice something different?
Oh yeah. The yarn wall.
We have an inspiration.
Yeah,
behind us.
we have a little more tweaking to do.
A lot more tweaking to do. The shop's a mess, but the wall looks pretty.
And that's not the whole wall, but there's more to it. But we're going to see maybe if next week we'll rearrange ourselves a little bit.
Yeah.
But we didn't have time for that today.
Yes. I have to say a shout out to Vanessa. She convinced me to do this slat wall or pegboard, whatever. We went with the slat wall, and yeah, hopefully this will work out really nicely for us. Be a nice way to feature yarn and not have it so messy behind us.
No, listen, it's a good place to put it.
Yes. All right. I don't think we have anything else.
I think that's it.
That's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in. We hope to see you next week. Please let us know if you're into the Zephyr as a knit along.
Yep.
Or do you think we would we can handle another knit along by summer?
We can see. Well, let's see. If there's anything else you want to do, let us know. Again, not cables though. Something that's not cables.
Right.
Something different.
Right, and maybe next week we'll start showing some tanks.
Yeah, could do that. Absolutely. Why not?
Okay. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Have a great week.
Bye.